The 90s represented a period of intense experimentation in cinematography. This period produced many outstanding films of various genres. The structure of the films became closer to what we are used to, and computer graphics were also a noticeable influence. The thriller experienced a revival of sorts, becoming one of the most respected genres. The era was characterized by blockbusters, comedies, and dramas, as well as the flourishing work of directors such as Tim Burton, the Coen brothers, and Terry Gilliam. The emergence of great filmmakers like David Fincher and Tarantino, as well as a new era of creative discovery from Martin Scorsese and Steven Spielberg, were the hallmarks of this time. Today I propose to take a look at the top 5 most outstanding films of that period, fully conveying the madness of those years, which for many are associated with childhood. All of these films are outstanding representatives of their genres and, interestingly enough, remain relevant today, surpassing many modern pictures. Even naive and silly moments are not perceived as flaws, but as an integral part, giving the movies a unique charm and making the viewer smile. In the year 1969, the first skirmish between two American soldiers, Luke and Scott, takes place in Vietnam. Luke, unable to shoot an armed man, encounters Scott, who displays inhuman rage and cruelty, as evidenced by the necklace of Vietnamese ears cut off by him. Years later, both find themselves in the same special unit of Universal Soldiers, designed to perform the most dangerous tasks, including the elimination of terrorists. The Universal Soldier cannot be killed permanently. He rises again and again. This sci-fi action movie starring Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren is a great combination of their toughness, funny humor that will bring a smile, and brutal action. In the background of all this there is a humongous military base on wheels, adding an extra dose of experience to the piece. What else do you need for a real cinematic delight? Cable guy Chip Douglas is a guy with an unusual character. When he meets Stephen Kovacs, there is a desire to become the latter's best friend. However, as Stephen deepens his acquaintance with Chip, it becomes clear to him that this friendship carries unexpected consequences. Faced with this, Stephen makes the decision to get rid of his new buddy, but the task proves to be extremely difficult. This movie is a surprisingly funny and bright work with a deep meaning, which remains relevant to this day. The story of an eccentric man seeking friendship is perfectly executed by the legendary Jim Carrey, who grew up under the careful supervision of a TV nanny. Especially memorable is the moment when Jim Carrey, fully investing all his energy, performs karaoke while lying on the floor, which leaves an incredible impression. The life of an ordinary laborer Doug Quaid seems boring and predictable. To diversify his routine, he decides to use the services of a mysterious company. For a fee, they send impulses directly into his brain, creating the illusion that he is a completely different person leading a fascinating life. Everything would be fine if after the procedure Doug could figure out who he really is, an ordinary employee or an experienced special forces fighter, mastering all aspects of the military art. Now he is surrounded by fear, death threats, and hunted like game. Even his own wife is bent on taking his life. To survive, Doug needs to remember everything. This movie is cult sci-fi created by the extraordinary vision of Paul Verhoeven, starring an ironclad Arnie fighting for truth on Mars, clearing the air and restoring his memory. A Hong Kong policeman named Hyung travels to America to attend his uncle's wedding. When he arrives, however, he discovers that his uncle has secretly sold his supermarket to an attractive Chinese woman. Saying nothing to the new owner about possible problems with gangsters, the uncle leaves. Hyun, despite all the difficulties, decides to protect the lady's business and comes into conflict with the racketeers. This movie with Jackie Chan can be called one of the most dynamic and exciting Almost the whole plot is built around one big action scene. And watching the movie in one breath. Jackie Chan, as always, demonstrates outstanding skill in cinematic stunts. As for the plot features are not the main emphasis here. In this movie, Jackie Chan showed incredible professionalism by filming and performing stunts even after the injury of a broken leg. It is definitely worth watching to appreciate his dedication and skill in the art of filmmaking. This movie is known to everyone, so a detailed description seems superfluous. In short, it is a great black comedy about a man who has lost his nerve, which mirrors our society. In a negative light, Michael Douglas as this character, despite his damaged glasses, is one of the most impressive characters in the movie world. Recommended viewing.